Hello from the Dukascopy TV studio in Geneva. Investing in Brazil is now the right time. We will ask this Marc Lussy. He is Managing Director from DINAR Finance Group. Welcome to the studio, Marc Lussy.
Thank you very much for receiving me.
So the stock market in Brazil had recently really lived through an up and down, a roller coaster, and it has benefited from the low currency rate of the real. Would now be a good time to invest in the equity market in Brazil?
Well, that's true, yes. That the real helps, of course, first of all, the Brazilian exporters. That's true. And on the other hand, for us Swiss, if you will, stock prices are significantly cheaper than before for us because the real lost about 40% or more. So that's one thing. Absolutely, that's an interesting part. And let's have maybe a look at the big picture, the macro picture. If you look at Brazil, all which was driving people bullish, which convinced people to buy Brazil in 2010, these factors basically are still the same. What were the factors? Like the two main ones were like a lot of young people with a good education or like better and better education, and that has not changed. So the young people are still there, and when I'm in Brazil, really more and more education, I can feel it, I can see it, education is better than like a few years ago. That's one thing. And the second one is the democracy. Brazil has like a stable, strong democracy. It's kind of inefficient, that's true. It doesn't work properly if you look at the efficiency, but they are strong institutions, so you cannot stop democracy. So if you compare to other emerging markets, that's really a strong point. That's still the same as it was in 2010. Big difference certainly is the commodity prices decreased sharply, so certainly that hasn't helped Brazil. If you look at whole Brazil, basically, it's not a crisis. Basically, it's just an adjustment. What happened is there was a lot of foreign money also coming to Brazil after the bank crisis. And basically, it made it a bit too easy for Brazilians. So everything moved up, prices moved up, and so on, salaries moved up. But the productivity could not follow. And therefore, now it's just an adjustment. The productivity might improve a bit as well, but now we just have the adjustment of the economy, of the growth in comparison to the productivity we have. So yes, it's an interesting that the value is on a low level of the Brazilian stocks. Is it good to invest now? Certainly, you should have a long-term view. So it's not something for a short-term investor. So Brazil, you have to really see long-term. Brazil is like going two steps forward, one step back. You have to be aware of that. So see it long-term. And then it's interesting if you look, timing is difficult, absolutely. So we would maybe rather say a good time to invest, to start investing in the stock exchange, in the Brazilian one, would maybe be like the first semester of 2016.
Mm-hmm. So when we talk about equity markets, what sectors do you see are undervalued right now? Which sectors would you propose?
Well, certainly on the stock side and equity side, certainly banks. Why? Banks still, they have a double-digit growth still. They're really stable. They have a good capital base. One of the reasons is also that the top management, if something goes wrong, if they lose money, or if they go bust or whatever, they have to pay with their money. So that really makes them quite conservative. And a second point is it's really something that boosts banks is that they have really good margin in between the credit they give to their clients, maybe companies or privates, and the money, the interest rate they pay for the refinancing. So that makes them interesting. Also, I would like to mention the bond side. So basically, compared to other comparable bonds, to other similar markets, also emerging markets, looking at the rating, looking at the risk, and looking at the yield, Brazilian bonds in comparison are very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So you at DINAR Finance Group, you are really also helping companies who want to invest in the Brazilian market. Exactly. When we talk about direct investments in Brazil, which sectors, which industries are we talking about?
There also, I would like to point out certainly banking. So we strongly believe in that area. Basically, we do that in several ways. Either we just can be a consultant, or we can do that in a partnership. So certainly banking. Why? Because like the quality and the service of banking is not that great, but it's changing more and more. Like we don't have there like the thing like we have like asset allocation engineering, a really very sophisticated way that doesn't exist. Client retention in that sense doesn't exist. So there's a big space. You have to have a long-term view, and there exactly, so I mentioned before, for stocks, buying stocks maybe a bit later, but if you look at that business, that would be a good timing to start now, because in Brazil everything takes time. So you have to build up the right partner. So that's the key, to really have the right partner, the right Brazilian partner, and that takes time. And it's wrong, to start like in 2010 when everything is going hot and going big, because till it works, like you're already in the recession again, if you will. So basically, banking for Swiss banks with their quality, with the private banking approach, very interesting market, and the good timing really could be now.
Thank you very much, Marc Lussy, for being here today and sharing your expertise with us.
Thanks very much.
And thanks for watching. Do make sure to keep clicking back on the Dukascopy TV website for latest updates and exclusive interviews. Have a great day and see you next time.